Hello and welcome to week 2 of AC 1110 Accounting Fundamentals. Remember that the contact information is down here if you have any questions. You have the name, the email address, and the phone number. We also have office hours on Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. These are not required and they are in question answer type format. So it's not like a presentation necessarily unless we have some questions and we can go over some questions and ask at that time. It is a time that is laid out and carved out where you can visit this area if you have questions, and we can work some problems together. We can go over it through the phone. Notice that this is a different phone number. This is a conference call line. So when you contact me normally, you can use this number here, and otherwise you can use this number on the conference call. It will have a conference call code 1111, and that is there so that multiple people can join into the conference call at various times during that hour if they have questions. We can also use some types of screen share software, which will be Adobe Connect in this case. And in doing that, it's really helpful that we can be able to work through problems together. You can see my screen. I can show you the Excel worksheet and show you how certain things are happening. We can share your screen and go through that. I do recommend using that type of software in groups yourselves too. If you set up a group, even if you're not in the same location, it can be really helpful to use this type of software. It's seeming to be something that's going to be used more and more throughout business anyways, so it's a good thing just to practice. Some other types of software are like joinme.com is a software that can be used, and Skype can be used, so you can use screen share type of software for those as well. Remember that many of the assignments will have instructional videos. The instructional videos mainly are housed on this website. So if you go to this website, you can go directly into where the instructional videos are. They're under Charter College. They're under Accounting Fundamentals. Also note that if you wanted to just go directly to the videos or if the links are a little bit slow because that web page has a lot of videos on it, the YouTube page might boot up a little faster, and it could work better on other devices such as phones and whatnot. So this is the same videos should be in this YouTube channel. So if you go onto the YouTube channel here and go down to Charter College, and we are in 1110, AC 1110, then you should find the same information listed out here. You might have to search around a bit, but these might pull up a little bit faster, and there might be something that you can watch kind of on the go a little bit more easily on something like a phone or a tablet. Okay, let's go down to week 2, the current week that we are in. So we're going to scroll into week 2 here. The format will be much the same both in this class as well as the format for many future Moodle classes. And that format is that we'll have the objectives up top, we'll have the topics, I'll let you go through those, and we'll have the lessons. Basically, we're going to go through Chapter 2 and Chapter 3 now. So we've started Chapter 2 last time. Chapter 2 is a long chapter, probably the most important chapter of the course, so you want to spend a lot of time on that. That's where we're going to focus this time. Then we'll start Chapter 3. We will continue Chapter 3 when we go into week 3. We've got some instructional videos here. So many of these will be the same, and that's by design because this stuff does accumulate, so it builds on itself. So you really want to go back to some of these, like the building block one in particular. I would go back to that multiple times and just keep, every time you think you got a firm grasp of it, you want to go back and just see if you can see it in a different way. See if you can see how the debits and credits work, how the trial balance relates to the financial statements, how the financial statements tie out, how the accounting equation is related to the financial statement. So go back into that one multiple times and just see if you're understanding the connection of all these types of things in relation to the double entry accounting system. And like I say, those will also be on this website if you want to go there directly, and they should be somewhere in the YouTube channel as well if you wanted to go there directly. Everything under the discussion forums, this is where you want to check everything off. So remember, this is Moodle Rooms, this is McGraw-Hill's Connect. Moodle Rooms is where you want to check everything off and just make sure that you have verified to yourself that you have done the work, even though most of the work will be done in Connect. So this is kind of your checkoff sheet. Just say, this is what I have to do. Make sure you have done it within here. So everything from the discussions down. Also want to just give you my rundown that this is how I would approach all of the classes here. And that would be that the discussion forums are worth 21%. I would get full credit on that. You want to get full credit on the discussion forums, and you want to get 21% in there. Why? Because you have the most control over those. They're the most subjective. Pick up all those points. And then you want to get as close to full credit as possible on the assignments and the homework, because again, you have a lot of control over those. Now, there's a lot of assignments, there's a lot of work in this class, I understand that, but there's going to be a lot of resources as well. So you don't get any zeros if at all possible on the assignments and homework. Pick up as many points as possible, and then go into the quizzes with as large as a point cushion as possible. Clearly, you do not have as much control over the quizzes. What you get on the quizzes is what you get. But if you pick up full credit on the 21% here, and as much as the full credit on the 33 and the 13, you are going into the quizzes, midterm, and final with a pretty good cushion total on the points. And also remember that, of course, of that 33%, the midterm and the final are weighted more than the quizzes. So that'll be a drastic change once we go from week to week because of that. All right, going back to Moodle Rooms. So that means if you scroll down here, we want to pick up the discussion. That's 21% here. You want to pick up the assignments. There's going to be 1 in Connect, 1 in Moodle Rooms, and the quiz is out of order for some reason. But you want to make sure to do the quiz by the end of the week and pick up the discussion, the homeworks down here. All right, so how do we do that? We're going to go through the discussion forums first. Remember, we've seen the discussion forum last time, so hopefully we're getting used to that. If we distill these down to their essence here in terms of the rules, basically you need at a minimum of 4 posts. So remember, the discussion forums are graded a little bit differently in that the points go upward. So you can't really lose points on a post. You accumulate points until you hit full credit. So that means that you could hit full credit in a minimum of 4 posts. So 4 really good posts could get full credit. However, if you have less than really good posts, then every post is still good. Every post is still going towards full credit, but you may not get to full credit within the minimum of 4 posts. Therefore, I highly recommend posting more than 4 times. I would post like 7 or 8 times. There should be a lot of material in order to post. Now, remember, you can post to the original question. You can post to someone else's question. You can ask a question as long as it's within the context. I am going to ask a lot more questions as you have seen in week 1. Don't let that intimidate you. I'm not trying to overwhelm anybody with a bunch of questions. What I'm trying to do is give enough information to make sure that everybody is able to pick up the full credit on these by doing at least 4 posts and doing more than 4 posts if possible. It's also a good place to look at information and answer questions in a discussion format, and of course have a discussion on it. All right, so the assignments, one's going to be in Connect, one's in Moodle Rooms. This is Moodle Rooms, McGraw-Hill Connect is up here. So the one that is in Connect, this is the longer assignment. I'm going to go over here to McGraw-Hill's Connect, and we're going to go into week 2, the week that we are in. And the longer assignment will be this one. So I would actually do the Learn Smarts first and then do the assignment. But this assignment is going to be the longer assignment. Remember to use your resources. So make sure to open this paperclip up and get the Excel sheet. This Excel sheet you don't have to turn in, but it's going to help you with this assignment. So we should be able to pick up a lot of points just by the formatting of this sheet. So if you go into Excel and you go into the first tab, you'll have video links. You can take a look at those. And we have the example problems on the second tab. So notice again, it's a long problem here, but if you just look at the formatting of the journal entries, you can pick up a lot of points just by the format of the journal entries. And the numbers will change, but the actual accounts will be much of the same. So at least pick that up. And the reason it's going to be a longer problem is because you really want to see this in context of a longer problem, so you can see the trial balance and you can see how things are going to relate and fit together. So want to give you a longer problem, also want to give you the resources to complete the longer problem, and this will give you a lot of the resources. So if you go in there and you just plug in these journal entries, you can pick up a lot of points just doing that, and then you could see how the worksheet will work as well. So make sure to pick up points, even though I know that's long and it's a kind of an intimidating problem. Remember, you do not have to turn in the paper clips here. Those are just going to help you for this problem. This paperclip is going to help you for the Moodle Rooms, or it's going to be turned in to Moodle Rooms. Going to go back over here to Moodle Rooms. This assignment is in Moodle Rooms, so if you click on this assignment, then you want to download this worksheet. It should be a much smaller Excel worksheet. And once you're done with that, you want to save it. And there'll be a submit button down here once the week has started. You want to upload it here. So this one is the one thing that actually needs an upload to Moodle Rooms. The one thing that's going to be actually turned in the Excel. If you didn't do this one in week 1, then go back and do it. If you turned it into Connect and it was the Moodle Room problem, that's okay. Just go in and redo it. I'll update the grade for that and give full credit on that. I'm going to go back up to the cookie trail. I'm going to go into the second week, February 8th to the 14th. Scroll back down to where we are at. So remember, I'm going to go down to the homeworks now. These are the Learn Smarts. So again, the Learn Smarts are in Connect, but you want to check them off here. So just make sure you check these off here and make sure that you have done them and you're tracking them in Moodle Rooms. Of course, the Learn Smarts will be in this area here. So here are the Learn Smarts. Here's the assignment. Also want to point out that this assignment here, just to make sure that you are using all the resources on that long problem as well as in the Learn Smarts. If you go into the YouTube channel, this is one place to find it that we looked how to get there before. Then it's the one on the McGraw-Hill's Connect. You want to look at this one for the assignments and just make sure you're using all the resources on these assignments, because you could pick up a lot of points. You can save a lot of time by using the resources effectively. It's well worth watching this 9-minute video to make sure you're picking up all the points possible. Going back to Moodle Rooms, then we of course have the quiz. Make sure to take the quiz by Sunday. The quiz usually cannot be made up for late work unless there's an unusual circumstance, like the computer went down or something like that, in which case you'd have to email me and I will take that on a case-by-case basis. Other than that, it is possible to do late work on most of the other work. So make sure to do the quiz. It's multiple choice. Anything's better than a 0. Even if you got like a 10 or 20%, that's better than a 0. So even if you are not ready for it, take the quiz by Sunday. I'm going to go into the gradebook. I'm going to scroll up. Gradebook is this green icon on the left-hand side. After week 1 has ended, the week will end on Sunday. I have then until Tuesday to enter the grades. I'm going to try to get them in there by Monday, but they should be in there by Tuesday night for sure. And what will happen is then, if you did the discussion forum, this dash will change to a letter grade. So if you did it all, you get 100% on this, and that'll be 100% for the category so far. So the same will happen for the quizzes. If you did the quiz, whatever grade that you know you got, because you've been tracking it in Moodle Rooms and Connect, should then populate here for week 1 in Connect, and then it'll populate down here. Notice that whatever you get in the quizzes will populate for the entire grade portion of this 33% related to quizzes. And so it's an average. So every time you take another quiz, that average will change. So the midterm has more weight than the final. So the first week can be a little distorted looking. The assignments, same thing. We have the assignment here and the assignment here. Those will populate. Now, if you didn't do the assignment, then what will happen is this week 1 assignment, I'll put a 0 in there. It'll change from a dash to a 0, which means it'll then calculate this amount down here. Notice if we get a 0 in here, you can pick up the late work, but it's going to bring your grade down a lot because we're doing an average again of this category. So since that's the only thing we've done, the whole 33% is at 0. Even though we have all these other assignments to do. So keep that in mind, that you could pick your grade up a lot by picking up any 0s. The homework, same thing. If it's done, then we'll put this in here. I should take this from Connect and put it in here. You want to go in here by Tuesday night and check that the work that you know you've done is now been reflected here accurately. All right, and then if there's any 0s, then you want to go in and pick those up. So if there's any 0s or anything less than full credit, see if you can pick up the late work on it, and then continue on to week 2. So you're going to continue on to week 2. You're going to pick up everything you can. You're going to track that in Connect and Moodle Rooms and check off what you have done. And then by the end of the week, Sunday is the end of the week, I will then have till the following Tuesday to grade it, and we'll do the same process. So by the following next Tuesday, I will grade once again week 2, and I'll pick up any late work by that time. So if you do pick up any late work, say you got a 0 on this assignment and you did it, and you then do it anytime after Monday, it's not going to populate automatically. You might want to email me on it, but it will be graded by the following Tuesday. So after the close of the week, that's when it will be graded. That's when you want to check it, and if it doesn't match what you know you have done, then please contact me and we will look into it. And that is it for week 2, so have a great week 2.